What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another Good Game Reviews. And look, sorry about not finishing up the top 100 just yet. I'm still going to finish it up, even though we're already past Sunday and all that. Still want to finish it up. I'm very, very close, like really, really close to finishing it up, but didn't get to finish it up before Sunday like I wanted to. But let's just go ahead and get into the game. I'm here to talk about the Steelers versus the Patriots. Week 1, Sunday night game. Started off very well. First thing I got to see was the banner drop. Very awesome, very epic. They had a little band and everything, and they had like the people from who were like involved in like the past 5 Super Bowls and the 6th Super Bowl, come with the Lombardi trophies and like stand on certain sections of like the little stage, and they had the little hologram stage and stuff, and then Grunt did the spike and everything. It was just amazing, It was just amazing. But the game started, and it started off a little slow. The Patriots were trying to move the ball, and it just didn't seem to be clicking, at least on the first drive. And so saw what the defense was going to do. Steelers come out, stall out the Steelers offense. Everything's looking good. Eventually, the Patriots got it together, and once they did, they didn't seem to really stop. It just seemed like they just was killing them on just all sides, and it was just a massacre. 33-3 Patriots. Man. Oh my goodness. I mean, now personally, I wanted that to happen. I wanted the Patriots to just absolutely dominate the Steelers, only because I had heard a couple correspondents talking about how this is the game that the Steelers can steal because it's week 1 and all that mess. And the predictions as far as the score went, I was just like, come on, this is disrespectful. Have they seen this roster? It's the same defense, but not even, because they got better. They added more. They added depth to the line. They added depth to the linebackers. Still got the same. They still got that same secondary out there. So I didn't know how they didn't expect this defense to just show up. But let's go ahead and get into the score. I'm already like 3 minutes deep into this, but I just wanted to touch on that because I just didn't see how people, could just think that they were going to be anything but great tonight. But Tom Brady, he was 24 for 36. He averaged 9.5 yards, so pretty cool. 3 touchdowns. Yes, sir. Threw for 341 yards. Man, he had himself a night. Didn't throw any interceptions, which is good. I like that. And his rating was 124.9. So, I mean, damn near perfect. Really, like, yeah, like a nice little trick play they had with Julian Edelman. He tossed the ball, backwards to him. He tosses it to James White. James White goes on a little 32-yard scamper. I mean, just the whole night was just full of explosive plays, and that's not even like the best of it. Philip Dorsett. Now, I don't have Philip Dorsett in fantasy. I have Josh Gordon, and Josh Gordon did, do me well. He got me 16 points. He, was targeted 4 times, got 3 receptions, 73 yards, averaged 24.3. Had a touchdown, and he had a long for 44. I'm just reading the stats off, but he had a good night himself. That bomb, like, I just went absolutely nuts. And the first touchdown, just for that first touchdown to go to him. Oh, you don't know how hype I was. Like, the first touchdown of the game, the first touchdown of the Patriots season is Tom Brady throwing to Josh Gordon. That whole place just erupted. Like, oh my goodness. Philip Dorsett had a really good night though. He was targeted 4 times, had 4 receptions, 95 yards. Yeah, 95 yards, had 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. Oh man. Oh, and the drop in the bucket that he had to him. That comes from those other players being around him. He wasn't getting those. He wasn't getting those. He wasn't getting no 58-yard receptions, no 58 bombs like that. When he was playing alongside Hogan and Patterson, he wasn't getting those type of deep passes. He's getting those now because of all the talent around him, and it's only gonna get better for him if he just so happens to be out there and he has players like Josh Gordon and Demaryius Thomas around him, and then if they decide to like kind of work Antonio Bell and like, because I feel like they're gonna work him into there a little slowly, but they're gonna get him in there, and once he's in there, that just opens it up even more. So, and then I can't forget about Julian Edelman. You already know that, but yeah, also Julian Edelman. He had the most receptions, 11 receptions. 11 targets. He had the most targets. I'll say that he had the most targets, and he had 6 receptions, and he had 83 yards. Didn't have a touchdown, but that's okay because he's still killing. He was still killing. Still reminding people that yes, there's a reason why I was the Super Bowl MVP. So we don't have to worry about that. Devin McCourty had himself a pretty good night. 6 total tackles, interception. Always great to start the season off with an interception on the defensive side. Not on the offensive side, but on the defensive side. Always great, to just, go ahead, start accumulating those turnovers for the defense. So hopefully it can look, like a repeat of last year without, giving up a whole bunch of points to teams that we shouldn't be giving, points up to. We can just focus on improving that turnover battle. Get some more turnovers, some more sacks. Another guy I want to shout out, DJ Wise. He had the strip sack. Didn't recover it. No Patriots recovered the ball, but it was still, pretty hyped. I was still pretty hyped to see it. And Bailey. Oh man. He had that. Oh man. Bailey. Don't question Belichick. Simple. Just don't question him. He had a long for 53. Had one in the 20. The guy's leg is something serious, man. It is something serious. It really is, man. I'm glad that we have him. When we drafted him, I was a little confused, but now I'm just glad that we have him. I'm just really glad that we have him. Bad though. I want to get into the bad, and the bad is really short. It's nothing really serious. The bad is just the running game in terms of Sony Michel, because Rex Burkhead had himself a pretty cool game. Not like a 100-yard game or something like that, but he had a pretty cool game, and he averaged 5.5 on the ground. So that's what's up. But Sony Michel, he had a pretty off night, and I guess that's only a testament to the Steelers defense, and they just had his number. Kind of like similar to the last time we played them, week 15. They just had Sony Michel's number. They just wasn't going to allow Sony Michel to run the ball, and I think that was just the emphasis of their game. But he had 15 attempts, 14 yards. Didn't have any touchdowns. Only had a long of 5 yards. It just wasn't his game. I think it was like earlier on in the game. Had James White in for a third down. They played that play as if it was going to be a passing. It even looked like it was going to be a passing, but Tom Brady just hands it off to James White. James White curls around the right, first down. It's just that it's not that Sony Michel just is like bad. We already know he's not bad. We know he's really good. It's just that the Pittsburgh Steelers have a good line. Let's admit it, they have a good line, and they just wasn't going to allow the Patriots to really run it on them. Now, like I said, no running back had 100 like rushing yards or nothing. So we're not going to knock anybody because I mean, we just know that the Steelers weren't going to allow anybody to run for 100 yards. So, I mean, that's just the name of the game. Not a whole lot of sacks. I won't even really consider that bad. That we didn't have like a whole bunch of sacks. We had the strip sack, but that was it. And some missed opportunities, at least on turnovers, because we had, the strip sack that could have been recovered, but it wasn't. And then we had a potential interception by John Simon that was dropped. So that's like two plays that could have went into the Patriots' favor. And that's something that I noticed, especially in that Chicago game last year in Week 7, where there was 2 opportunities to have turnovers, and because you missed on those opportunities, you allowed them to score and somehow find their way back into the game where you could have easily just closed it out. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, I'm glad that they was able to shut them out. I'm glad that they're able to get that one interception. But when you have the chance to get multiple turnovers, go ahead and capitalize on it. That's all I'm saying. Marcus Cannon, injury news. I hate giving injury news. I hate having to discuss about injuries, but we have to do it. Marcus Cannon left the game in the 4th quarter because of a shoulder injury. Now, he didn't return after that, and after the injury occurred, Joe Thuney, who we know is the left guard, switched over, played right tackle, and in Joe Thuney's place, Jermaine Illuminor play left guard, because we know that he's able to move from like different spots. He can play left guard, he can play right guard. So that's pretty much what they brought him in for, to be kind of like that swing type. So I guess you can say it worked out. Not really sure how to like determine that, even though it was like because it was in the 4th quarter. If it happened earlier and we saw what that would look like with the switches, and we still got that same result, I have more of a positive attitude. But I still wouldn't have like a totally positive attitude, because we lose a starting right tackle in a time where we shouldn't be losing offensive linemen. We already lost David Andrews for the year, and it's just not a good time to lose that starting lineup. You want to keep it the way it is, so hopefully it's not something. It's a shoulder injury. We don't know how serious it is. We'll see. We just have to wait on the news. Only thing else I have as far as like bad, Tom Brady, he did take a sack. He had like a few bad throws. I know earlier he had a real bad throw to Edelman, but after that he pretty much cleaned that up. But he had a few bad throws, and then he did take that sack. But it wasn't like his fault. It was just the line just gave in at the wrong time, and he took the sack. But you don't want to see your 42-year-old quarterback taking any sacks. So I mean, that's just the nature of the game. But another little piece of good news, I'll just go ahead and slide that in there. Gunner had him a good night. I feel like that's pretty much going to be his role, the punt returner. Julian Edelman, they want to save him for the offensive snaps. Fine, great, because Gunner seems to be fitting in very nicely in that role. And Isaiah Wynn, even though he had the one penalty against him for holding, he had a very, very good night. A very good night against a very good defensive line. Like I said, this is a really good defensive line. And to only, he did allow the one, but as far as like the whole night goes against that line, he did very good. He did very good for his first NFL game against that line. That was as best of a test as any. That was as best of a test as any against a team that led the league in at least tied in lead for intercept. I mean, not interceptions, but sacks. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say as far as the game goes. Still a lot of stuff they can clean up on, a lot of missed opportunities to gain points. But as far as this goes, a 33-3 win at home opening night, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. Like, comment, subscribe. Gonna be dropping some more videos like this. Gonna be dropping some more reactions to the top 100. I'm out.